Welcome to the Michigan Golfer Show. Join us each week as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great game.
Hi, I'm Jack Berry, and I'm here today at the Michigan Golf Show with some of the stars of the show. I got Kelly, who is the golf course superintendent at the Rock up on Drummond Island, and right, and Harry Bowers, who designed the Rock. And he loved it, and he's going to tell us about Three Finger Louie and so forth. And now Tom Monaghan started that course many years ago, and it has matured very nicely. Now you've been there for 11 years you've been there and living on the island, and tell us about it, Kelly. What's it like up there?
Well, coming up my whole life, I'm pretty used to the winters, but the summertime is beautiful. The tranquility of the golf course, you can have a full golf course, but you never see anybody else. The island itself, there's so many outdoor things to do. It's outdoor enthusiast's dream to be there.
But you do want to see some people on the golf course, right?
Yeah. Absolutely, yes. Yeah. I don't like them to hold me up, but I do like them when they're there.
Yes. Do you have any trouble with any rock outcroppings on that golf course?
Sometimes. Yeah, I know we are dealing with a little bit of, the irrigation with all the rock. I was talking to Harry, they had to dynamite. Right. To get to.
I just like to hear about Three Finger Louie. We did. Kelly's not wrong. We dynamited irrigation. We dynamited drainage. We dynamited rock outcroppings. It was unbelievable. But they have that huge limestone quarry, so they had experienced dynamite people. Even though Louie only had 3 fingers, but no, he lost those years ago. But that's who was recommended. Matter of fact, I think your father-in-law recommended him.
Yes.
He pulled him out of the Northwoods Inn. But it was a challenging golf course, and they're still having some challenges up there. It's tough to get some areas to drain. You're just right on the rock. I think I told you before, Jack. When we first opened, your divot made a funny sound. It was like a thud kind of, and it was because the sand was just kind of bouncing off of that limestone. It wasn't a good crisp sound when you took a divot. No, I put enough over it so you wouldn't hit the rock, but man.
Your father-in-law?
Father-in-law helped with the excavating, and I believe.
Yeah, Pat Kelly. He was. We had 2 competing contractors on the island. Denny Bailey, who ended up being one of the owners later on with Cliff Haley, and Pat Kelly. And, of course, Denny Bailey wanted everything. He was selling us the sand because he had the only good sand pit on the island. And he just wasn't set up to do everything. So we brought on Pat Kelly, and of course that was kind of a rivalry right from the start. And Kelly was just telling me they've been rivals since the 3rd grade. So I had no idea what I was getting into, but boy, they didn't talk to each other very much. But yeah, Pat did a heck of a job for it.
Well, when it started, Monaghan, a very, very nice wood. Everything's wood, of course. The lodge, and invited a lot of celebrities to kind of pick out a hole and name it. And
it was the darndest thing. I remember they called me into Monaghan's office one day, and he didn't play golf. Tom was into the Tigers and the pizza thing and all of his Catholic charities. So when you went and met with Tom, you didn't know what you were going to get. And I think I gave one of you the spreadsheet that I had for the cost of the construction. He just signed it at the bottom, and that was the approval to everybody in the business that, yeah, you're going to go ahead and let Harry spend $5.5 million. So, but you never knew. And so I came in, and I told you he had those big leather chairs. They were shaped like a catcher's mitt. And when you sat in them, you just shrunk right down. And Tom wasn't a very big guy. So I think he liked, when I sunk down in that thing, he was taller than I was, But he started talking about, can you design with other people? And he didn't exactly say it like that, And because he wasn't a golfer, I didn't quite understand. But then I started figuring it out, and he wanted a celebrity golfer on every hole. So he wanted 18 celebrities. And, hey, I was just starting out, Jack. I didn't care. Sure, bring them on. Well, I had no idea. I mean, I'm expected to call Bob Hope. And I get this time I'm supposed to call Bob Hope, and sure enough, I get him. And it was during the tournament, the Bob Hope tournament. He had a little bit of time, and he says, "Yeah, Monaghan's crazy, but I'd love to. I've always, and he wanted a hole that had water on it. I think he, I'm not sure which hole it was. I was trying to think the other day, but yeah, and I remember Dinah Shore. She was totally put off by the whole thing. I think for 3 minutes, she didn't know who the hell I was and what I was asking her to do. It was like she wasn't prepped ahead of time or something. But she's, oh, yeah, well, whatever. Do whatever you want. Hung up the phone, But, yeah, it was J.P. McCarthy. Yeah, Al Kaline, Alan Trammell. Most of those people all had...
Any of them get up there?
Some input. It wasn't much. Somebody would say, I want a par 3. I like the par 3s,
Who got up there? Any of them?
Yeah, Al Kaline came up, Alan Trammell came up, George Kell came up, and J.P. McCarthy's my funnest one. I told you that story. He was a hoot. He would come up and want to get on a bulldozer. This is great. Sail his boat up there, and I got to get on a bulldozer. So it was a lot of fun.
Well, how about I saw a black bear up there, and have them on the.
Yeah, matter of fact, one of the photographs I was trying to find for you guys, and my wife's mad at me because I can't find it, but my oldest son, who's 31 now, was just little, and we were clearing the fourth hole. And the trees are all laid down, but there's still logs and stumps. And Jeff was maybe 50 yards in front of me, and I wanted to take a picture. He was climbing over a log, and way in the back, out comes a black bear. Now, it's 300 yards away from my son, but he shows up in the picture. When my wife saw that picture, she almost choked me. She was so livid. I was trying to explain to her, honey, he was 300 yards away. When he noticed us, he ran. I don't think Jeff ever saw him, but boy, she saw that. She said, "You're not taking my kids up there again."
Well, there used to be the dump that everybody,
Yeah, that's right.
for entertainment, people would drive, park their car, and sit and watch the black bears rummage through the trash.
At night, they would all come out.
Yeah,
So is that gone now?
it is gone, yes.
It's funny, Jack. I know there's other female head professionals, but I told you before, Kathy Antea was our first golf course superintendent there, and I think she was the first female superintendent for sure in Michigan. And so now you've got, they're kind of groundbreaking there. But I was out with her one time. I don't think we were open yet. We were grassed in, but I kept hearing this noise. We were on like the 16th or 15th, and I kept hearing this noise. What the heck is that? She goes, "Oh, that's the bears." I'm like, "What bears?" Bears growl. Or this was a weird, thwack. So we get around the corner, and these two cubs are grabbing the flagstick and pulling it down, and when they let it go, it rattles and the flag rattles, and then they run. And then they sneak back slowly, pull the flag again. It was like a game to them. Kind of cool.
Entertainment.
Kind of cool.
We have that with the deer. Will come right before deer season, get on the greens and cause all.
I tell you, if you've never experienced it from a golfing standpoint, you're never going to get more secluded than the Rock. And if you really want to bond with nature while you're playing golf, that's the place. Whether you got bald eagles coming down, deer running across, bears, it's so secluded. It's just so enjoyable to play.
We have these sandhill cranes that are real tall birds, and they'll come and get off the green when you're putting, and they'll venture back on when you leave.
What all? You got cranes, you've got the bear, you've got the deer.
We have the bald eagles.
And any coyotes?
We do have some coyotes and some wolves on the island.
One thing I thought was interesting is I never saw a skunk.
Nope,
While I was on the island. Yeah, and I asked a guy one time, and he says, we're an island. unless somebody imports one here, we're never going to get them. And everybody's like, well, that's never going to happen. Who's going to import it?
They're not swimmers. Good. So how has the business been?
We had new owners that purchased the golf course last year, so they've made a lot of improvements to the golf course itself that has really helped business. So we're hoping from years to come that it'll really help out.
You have a lot of nice housing there too, don't you?
We do. We have the lodge, and we also have cabins that we rent as well. So they have that rustic feel that people can come up and enjoy and kind of be one with nature.
So we've been talking with Kelly, who is the golf professional at the Rock on Drummond Island, way up north, and Harry Bowers, who was designed that golf course, designed the Rock. He was the man on the Rock.